I'll
This
give you a
conference
short
will now be
introduction.
recorded.
I'll give you a short introduction about myself, and then we'll get started with maybe 1 minute about your experience. Maybe you can just share name and your current experience, or you're studying or working, that you can say. So my name is Deepak. I was born and raised in Bangalore. So I have overall 13 years of data analytics experience. I started my career in the MIS department, like Management Information System, where I worked for about 2 to 3 years. After that, I switched to Tableau and Salesforce back in 2013. After that, in 2017-18, I got into a company where I had to migrate all the Tableau reports to Power BI. So that's where I started learning Power BI. I have overall 5 years experience in Power BI, and Tableau I have 8 9 years of experience. So my core skill is Tableau, Salesforce, SQL, Power BI, and Azure. So these are all the skills that I'm working currently. So I work as a technical architect at a company called Tawans Technologies in Bangalore. So I handle a team of 6 members of data engineers and data scientists. And during my leisure time, I take only limited people, like 4 or 5 people I'll take in one batch. I'll train them, and based on my experience in project, I give them idea. And once they complete, if I have any requirement within my company, I'll hire them. If I don't have, I have a network of people. I'll place them in relevant companies on contract basis or permanent basis. So I can say that 60 to 70% of the people that I train, they will get placed successfully, because my way of training is project based. So it is like real time, and what is needed for the job, that way I'm going to teach. That is what I'm going to cover. So that is the reason maybe most of the students are getting placed. I think Subhash, can you go on mute? Like I can hear some echo back when I speak. All right, thank you very much. So I'll just present you this PPT. Maybe whoever has got experience in Power BI, or they may have some introduction, or they may know what Power BI is about. So they will get some more details, or maybe get some more insights on what this tool is about. And you may also get to know some more new information which you don't know in the past, right? So before that, do you want to just give your name and your current job? Maybe you can start with Savitri.
Yes, sure, sir. My name is Savitri Singh, and I am from Uttar Pradesh. And currently, I am not working. I have experience in non-IT field, so I want to switch my career in IT field.
Okay, thank you. What about Srinivas?
Hey, hi, Deepak. So actually, I have around 11 years of experience in digital marketing. So I born and brought up in Andhra. So I'm right now want to move on to this Power BI data analytics, which is emerging now with AI, a lot of artificial intelligence. So that's why I want to move from marketing to IT team.
Great, thanks Srinivas. Shakil.
Yeah, hi sir. Myself Sheikh Mohammed Shakil. I'm from basically Andhra Pradesh. I'm working as a non-IT customer support executive. So right now I'm done on IT. So that's why I'm looking for the Power BI course.
Thanks Shakil. Tejaswini.
Yeah, hi Deepak. I have around 14 years of experience. I was working in Honeywell, so now I'm on break. I have like on the reliability. I have experience, so I thought like let me try with the data analytics. So I'm planning to switch my career in this. I'm new to Power BI. Thank you.
Thanks guys, thanks for the introduction. So this will take about 20 minutes of your time, so this PPT, so you'll get more idea about what Power BI is all about. Before getting into the details, I have cleared Microsoft Power BI certification back in March 31st, 2023. Sorry, 21. So which will be valid for 2 years. And if anyone wants some guidance after finishing the course on clearing the certification, I have some materials, study materials, which I'll be sharing, and also guide you how to crack this certification in one shot. Okay, so that Nowadays it is needed for the company. So in my current company, while I was working back in 1819, so I had to think about it. Then I started building knowledge and experience on Power BI. I didn't want to attempt in the just like that. I want to gain some experience. So once I became confident after 3 4 years, then only I tried the certification part. So I would suggest you guys also to do that. But if you guys are confident that you can clear, you don't have to worry about experience and all. You can straight away start your journey, right? So the agenda of this demo is like I'll give you a small introduction about Power BI and how the ecosystem is in Power BI, and what is the architecture, and what is the prerequisite to learn Power BI, and what is the tool scope, and what are the course contents that we have, and course duration, project use case, and then at the end we can have question and answer session. So we can ask any number of questions which you can clarify, and then we can proceed after that. Just to start with, what Power BI is all about. So Power BI is a stand-alone Microsoft cloud-based data visualization tool. So in simple terms, company will be reliable, or any company, if you start one company today, you become a CEO, you need to know what is happening with your data currently, and you need to know how it is going to be in the next 5 years, right? So you need to do forecasting, and you also need to know how I'm performing right now. So what my forecast should be another 5 years, where will I be? So that also you need to know, right? So for those kind of information, we call it in small term as data analysis, or we call it as reporting. So using that only you can take strategic decisions in your company, right? In the future, you are going to build something, or you want to do something in the company, you will not be worrying about small problems, because you're working as a CEO, or you're in the top management. So you only think about strategic decisions. So this tool will help people to accelerate that decision making process. To keep it very simple, if you are taking one decision, it will accelerate your process. By looking at the data, looking at the facts, you can take decisions, right? So that is what the tool is going to do. So with the help of data analysis and with the help of reporting, it will help you take that decision faster. That's all. So any tool you take Tableau, you take Power BI, you take ClickView, every data visualization tool is doing the same thing. It is actually trying to fasten that decision making process for you. So by looking at the visual, because anytime when you go for a boring data like Excel, if you have Excel, you will have anytime when you're working on Excel, right, you will be bored with those kind of data that you look into, right? So if I present your data in the form of rows and columns every time for you, so you will be bored, and also the grasping power will be low, because as per the scientific reason, when we look at some visuals, it will get more interesting for us. Just by looking at raw data, we will be get bored. And also on top of that, this Excel cannot handle huge volume of data, right? So in a company, you will be handling millions, billions of data, right? So for that, Excel cannot handle that volume of data. That is why we need to go for a different tool which will handle the data, huge volume of data, one. And the second part is it should give you the output in the form of a visualization, so that you will not get bored, and your visuals will keep you engaged always, right? So that is the main reason. So why the this tool became famous is because you can analyze data from various sources. You take SQL database, you take data warehouse like Oracle, you take cloud application like Salesforce, or you even take one locally saved file in your laptop, like flat file like Excel .csv, anything you can take. So any kind of data, you name it, Power BI has got the ability to connect to the data and make dashboards out of it, make stories out of it. That's what we do, right? So data can be connected in two ways, either to a flat file which is locally saved in your computer, or it can be a server. So which is like SQL, Oracle, SAP HANA, Salesforce, like this. So any kind of data, it can connect and it can present data in a beautiful way. The output will be in the form of a visual, and looking at that visual, the users will take decisions. So whatever decisions they want to take in the company, they will take the decisions by looking at those visuals, because those are all facts that they're seeing. It's not like some random data. It's all facts and figures that they're seeing. Depending upon that, they will take future decisions. right? That is all about small introduction about Power BI. So it this holds same. If you take Tableau, ClickView, Power BI, everything does the same thing. Okay, so there is no much difference. Everything is a data visualization tool only. Okay, so they are here for the same purpose. Okay, and why they are different, why Power BI is becoming famous these days, I will explain you in the next slide. Okay, so just to give you some idea about its ecosystem, we have the ecosystem built in this way. So Power BI is in the center because Power BI became famous because it's not serving a single purpose. It is here for a larger diversified purposes, right? So Power BI is divided into many other things which company can make use of. It's not only Power BI. It will come up with a lot of additional features, add-ons, which company will hire. I mean, which company will purchase based on their requirement. So their requirement is not is limited means they will not go ahead with that subscription. Okay, so Power Query, what a Power Query is, Power Query means it is helpful in data management. Like, you take some random data from a database, the data will not be clean, it will not be organized data. You have to transform it, you have to clean the data, right, before doing something. So for that reason we use Power Query. Okay, Power Pivot means what, it is all about data modeling. Data modeling means what, relationships. So you have to build proper relationships and your model should be in a proper way in order to have a good project, right? If your relationships between the tables is not proper, then it will create a lot of problems in the coming days in your project, right? So that is all about Power Pivot. Power View, as the icon suggests, right, you can see that this is all about visualization. So how you are going to present that, so how you are going to clean the data, how you are going to build the data, that is your relationships, and how you are going to present that data in front of the users. So these three steps are covered over here, right? That is all about, these are the three main components for Power BI: clean, build model, that is your build relationship, and then visualize and present that, create dashboards. That is what Power View is about. And then we have also something called Power Map. Power Map is, Power BI has come up with a lot of additional interesting maps. Not only the default maps that every tool will offer, it is coming up with a lot of additional maps, which is very nice. So those Power Maps also we can make use of, because geographical information is also very important for any project, right? So where we are present, what we are doing, so those things, Power Map will give more clarity on those things, right? And we have something called data catalog. Data catalog means what? For example, I finish one sales project. Within my sales project, I will have different terms like COGS. I will have revenue, total revenue. I will have total orders. I will have current year, previous year revenue. All those things will be there. These are all terms, metrics, right? Those metrics will be saved in a data catalog. Depending upon users, they can search any metrics, and they can search who is the owner of that metric, who created that metric. Within the organization you'll have different dashboards, multiple dashboards, right? So you want to understand, let's say for example, total orders is coming from which database, total orders was created by whom. All those details, if someone wants to learn, they will have option in data catalog. That is why data catalog is built. It is nothing but a kind of a dictionary, or you can say that it's a kind of management data management tool, right, where they can search any metrics of their choice. So there is something called data management gateway. What is this data management gateway means? It's like a bridge. So we have gateway set up for every project that we do, where when we are setting up the gateway, it acts as a bridge between your on-premises data, the data which you have currently in your organization, with cloud. So you need some kind of medium or platform between your on-premises data to cloud, right? This acts as a bridge for that. So it's like an extra layer of security for you. Well, we can explain this. I'll explain how it is done from the scratch. All these details I'm explaining you, everything will be everything I'm going to teach from the scratch. Okay, so even if you don't have an idea, you will get to know each and everything by from the scratch. So there's something called Power BI Q&A, question and answer. So you can question anything to Power BI. So it is like it works on an AI basis, AI tool basis. Like, you can tell what is the how much sales did I make this month. Like that, you can question Power BI, it will give back the answers. based on the AI feature. There is something called Power BI service. So once you clean, once you then you're going to build your data model, and then you're going to visualize the data, and then you're going to build your map as well. You have metrics, you have data gateway setup, everything is done. At the end, you have to share it with the end user, right? You cannot keep the dashboard with yourself. You have to share it with your users, business users. So for that reason, we have Power BI service. This is cloud service where you are going to publish all your dashboards to cloud. So every data will be present in the cloud itself. So that is all about, this is introduction about the components that we have or the ecosystem that Power BI holds. So this is a one-liner definition. So any topic when you're going to study, just study the line one line and understand it in a broader way by looking at it. Don't go for theoretical learning. So Power BI or any tool, if you're learning, don't go for theory learning. It should always be practical. Everything, whatever you do, should be practical always. That's why I've always used short terms, and I give more preference on the doing practical things only, not like theoretical way. Okay. So this is about ecosystem. So I just want to take a small any questions till now? Are you able to understand? Tejaswini, Srinivas, Shakil.
Deepak, you
Yeah.
mentioned Power BI service, right? So I think there are few things I just want to understand, like when we step into the practical thing. So there are few queries and all that we need to do through Power BI service. Will you teach that also, or how it is?
What is this service about? I didn't get that, Srinivas.
So
What was
usually
that?
Power BI desktop, we work. I mean, the codes and all that you're going to teach in Power BI desktop, right?
Correct. Yes.
So there any chance that can we work on Power BI service or cloud? I mean, the next level, like usually you folks like, you work on directly on the Power BI service and Power BI cloud now.
Yeah.
Because Power BI desktop is just for, end user, because there's a limited access to it, right?
Okay, I got it, Srinivas. So my course, whatever I've designed, this includes a Power BI desktop plus Power BI service. So both are
Okay,
included. It's not only about desktop. I am going to cover in whatever we are going to build in desktop, we are going to publish, and I'm going to teach from the scratch in the service also how it is consumed by the user. Okay. So that will be covered
okay,
in detail. So it includes service
got it.
also.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So any other general questions? I think some more people joined, like Narayan, Harsha. Are you able to follow?
Hi, Deepak. This is Narayan here.
Yeah, hi Narayan.
Hi. So I joined late. So in short, I want to understand this Power BI is a visual data visualization tool, right?
Yes,
And that you are going to teach on desktop, and that will be published in cloud so that every users or manager can view that.
correct.
So you talked
Yes.
about service. So is the service is something cloud based
Yeah,
different
we call
tool
it as
or
it has got different name. You can call it as Power BI service or Power BI cloud, everything one and the same.
okay?
So a few people call it as Power BI service, few people call it as cloud. So they have used these terms. But anyways, the only thing, as you said, we are going to build and we are going to publish to the cloud. That is the overall process,
Okay, and
right?
my next question is data source will be it could be in database SQL server or any
Correct.
relational database or file, right?
Correct. Yes.
Whether
Yes.
Excel, TXT or anything.
That's right. That's right. I just covered
Okay,
it in the previous slide. Maybe you joined a little late. So database can be in two ways. It can be connected like flat file in your locally saved PC, or it can be server like SQL, Oracle, Salesforce, like that. It can connect to any application, any database.
okay,
Does this answer your question?
yes, yes,
Okay. Great. Moving a little bit forward, like you have this whatever explained till now. This is the overall Power BI architecture. What you're doing is you're preparing the data. like I told you, using the first step that you have, that is Power Query. So that is where you're going to prepare your data. That is we call it as ETL process, right? You guys might be aware: extract, transform, and then load. So how you're going to prepare the data, how you're going to extract the data from the client's system, and how you're going to transform them. That is how you're going to clean the data, and then once it is cleaned, how you're going to load that into your own data warehouse that is present in your company. So data warehouse is nothing but a central repository, right, where the data is all stored in the form of, then the SQL developers will be creating tables using that data, and those tables will be used to build the model and then create visualizations at the same time. And at the end, what happens? It will be business users will consume it like this. Like they will access the dashboards. They can view it in their mobile also these days. They will access the dashboards in their mobile or in the desktop, laptop, and then it goes to the then they will take decisions based on the dashboard that you have prepared, right? So that is what happens. So first step is to overall picture is data integration, like how the data is extracted from different sources and then into the database. And data processing means how we are cleaning that data, how we are transforming that data. And then data presentation, so how you are going to present it to the end user. That is the end of that process. So this is like basic architecture that you're seeing here. This is the overall process. That's it. So in within this steps, we have different things, numerous different things that you will have, that you will be studying in the course. It's not only like this is an overall picture. That's all. Okay. So next common question that everyone will have, right? So sir, what is the basic criteria, or what is a prerequisite for me to learn Power BI? That is the main question, right? So if you guys have intermediate, basic to intermediate knowledge on MS Excel, like if you worked with charts, graphs, and all that, that will be added advantage for you. If you have basic knowledge on database and data warehousing concepts, that will also be added advantage for you, right? Even if you don't have, I'll provide materials for that. You don't have to worry that it's mandatory. Out of any of these two, you should have one. If you don't have, if you spend some time, you'll gain that knowledge. So it's not like you should be an advanced user for all this. Okay. And then if you have basic to intermediate, I mentioned that in the third point as intermediate, because nowadays companies are looking for only combination of skills. If you learn only Power BI, companies will hire you, but the number of opportunities that you see will be little less, because they are, as you know, right? Companies will always look for combination. Then, if you know more skills, they will hire you. The chances of hiring will be more, right? Now, my suggestion is I'll provide you study materials for SQL also. I'm going to tell you what you need to study in SQL. You should not be studying everything in SQL. It is only few things that you are, if you are aware of that, that is more than enough for you to survive in the job. So those things I'm going to teach you, tell you, or give you those materials. So I'm not going to go in depth with SQL. I'm only going to cover Power BI only in this course. So be aware, but I'm going to only help you with SQL by providing some materials. If you want in-depth studying on SQL also, you may contact Subhash later. Okay, that is my suggestion is, parallelly whatever you're going to learn with Power BI, if you learn parallelly on SQL, if you brush up your skills on SQL, then your chances of getting job will be more. Okay, so many of them trainers are not giving this idea. They're just, they want to just make people join their course, and they're not giving this information. Later on they will be panicking without SQL, because SQL is needed for Power BI. As simple as that, because companies will not maintain their data in Excel, right? That you guys know. Companies will always maintain their data in MS SQL Server or Oracle, like that, always in the database side. So that you need to, they will expect some skills from you, where if you know fetching the data, like joining basic queries, like that, if you guys know, they will be more interested to hire you. Otherwise, chances will be less. Okay, that you bear in mind. So these three things, if you have knowledge, or if you know these things, that's more than enough for you to learn Power BI.
Deepak, just sorry to interrupt in between.
Yeah.
So, will you teach all these in the course of Power BI? Like, are these just a prerequisite that we need to learn?
No, Power BI I'm going to cover from start to end. You don't have to worry about Power BI. But for you to
Okay.
start Power BI, you should have some basic to intermediate knowledge in Excel. Otherwise, if you
Okay.
don't have knowledge in Excel, if you haven't worked, then it will be very difficult because this will look very much new for you, and it will take more time for you to learn Power BI. That's what I'm telling.
Correct, correct. Recently, I was just going for some interviews. So they were
Mhm.
asking about the SQL also. SQL like
Yes,
joins,
yes,
DDL
yes,
concepts and all.
exactly, exactly.
So that you'll teach, right, in this course?
SQL, oh no, SQL no. Only Power BI I'm going to teach in this. SQL is a separate trainer may be there, or you can learn from Subhash. You will get more information from Subhash. But
Okay.
Power BI is what I'm going to cover. I'm not going to touch SQL.
Okay.
Parallel, you can go for parallel learning. You can contact Subhash, and we have separate trainers for this SQL also. So the charges in combination of this charges may be little less.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Deepak, so here my doubt is, during your Power BI training, right? So every time you'll be connecting to SQL Server or any database, right?
Yeah. So what I'll do is in my course, basics, topics, and all I'm going to cover in Excel only. But after that, once we move progress with the class, I will be connecting to SQL Server.
Okay. So that time you are going to at least teach how to fetch data from SQL Server and
Yes, yes,
populating
yes,
Power
yes.
BI. Those. Okay.
Definitely, yes. Those things I will cover. So those things you don't have to worry. Those how to fetch the data, how we are going to get into Power, how we are going to import the data into Power BI. All those things I will be covering. No, no worries. Okay.
Deepak,
Yeah.
if I learn SQL Server, how many days it will take time?
That depends. See, for SQL, if you already know something about SQL, then it will not take more time, like 3 weeks, 3 weeks, like that it may take. But if you're learning from the scratch, it might take more time. But, that depends upon the trainer and your level of expertise in SQL. So that depends. So I don't have that course duration. I don't have idea about SQL. So you can maybe check with Subhash after this class and get to know how long it will take, and maybe you can take one more demo for a different class,
Oh,
right, for
yes.
SQL. But if you ask me, my students are getting they're not that much dependent on this because whatever topic I'm giving them, they're learning parallelly with this by going through YouTube and all those things. With that only, they're able to clear all the interview. So I don't think if you need in-depth or advanced learning, you can see SQL is always needed for your whole career. Your whole career, whatever you learn without SQL, nothing will happen. So SQL is needed for every other tool. So it will help you throughout your journey of in IT career. But if you know, if you learn from the scratch to advanced, it will be more helpful, more and more helpful for you. But if you want to just manage for the time being with Power BI and SQL, you can take up some short-term course, or you can do self-learning and finish that. That is what my suggestion is. Hope it is
Uh,
clear with everyone.
Deepak, along with the Power BI, I am hearing the SQL, also VBA macro. So where this VBA macro will be needed in case of
No, VBA
doing the
macros.
work?
In my 5 years experience, I haven't come across VBA macros with Power BI. So Power BI is a different, altogether different thing that we're working. VBA macros and all this, they will not come into picture only.
Okay.
I think SSIS,
Yeah.
SSIS integration.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So maybe, but I haven't come across, or I haven't worked on that.
Okay.
VBA macro. I used to do it before 7 8 years in VBA macros. I forgot a little bit once I started learning Power BI. Okay, so little bit moving ahead. If you want to know more about scope, you will have some few doubts in your mind about scope of Power BI, right? So Power BI. is always in the leaders quadrant from the past 3 4 years. So when I was working with Salesforce and Tableau, I was thinking that Tableau, nobody can beat Tableau. When I was working just before 6 7 years. So if you see, this is a quadrant basis analysis. So for business intelligence, there is a company called Gartner. Gartner is, you can Google it out. Gartner is a company who will give ranking based on the reputation of the tool, business intelligence ranking. You'll have council. So this is kind of a council for BI tools, Gartner. So they will give ranking based on the reputation, based on their usage. So these things. If you see, Tableau has always been in this quadrant from the past 10 years since I started. I started learning Tableau in the 2012-11. So since then, Tableau is always there in the leader quadrant. Okay. Recently, before see ClickView is here. ClickView is also equally important, or it has got its own scope. But if you see, recently Microsoft crossed it. So what they did was Power BI. All these years, Microsoft was learning Tableau. So they were learning how they are growing, how these people are growing Tableau. Okay, all they did was they cloned it. They just, Microsoft is very intelligent. They just cloned Tableau. What these people are doing, they observed it and they cloned the same tool. So if you learn Microsoft Power BI, it will not take much time for you to learn Tableau, because almost the same. Both are almost the same, but there are few differences here and there. So why it crossed Tableau is because of only one reason. It is they left it with a cheaper cost. That's all. That is why you are seeing everywhere Power BI, Power BI. Wherever you go, all are talking about Power BI. The only reason is per user, Power BI they are charging, I think I've got here. Per user they're charging 13.7, whereas Tableau they're charging $38 per user. $38 where, $13 where. There is a huge difference, right? That is the only reason that they are crossed Tableau. But when I was learning Tableau, I was thinking that nobody can build a tool like this. So I was in Cloud9, but after that they beat Tableau within 1 year. They beat it because everything whatever Tableau is providing, Power BI is providing that, and they're also giving some more additional advantages on top of that, and they're releasing for lesser cost. 13 point something and 37 or $38 per user for tablet. So there is a huge difference, right? Every mid-scale industry or every mid-scale company we started implementing Power BI in their company, and it also belongs to Microsoft family. That's why they are giving for a lesser cost, because they're giving some discounts for those people. So that's why it crossed it. And if you ask me, for another 12 years, this will never come down, because Microsoft Power BI is strong with Azure. Azure is a cloud application along with Microsoft, right? And Salesforce is number one cloud application in the world, which acquired Tableau for some $3.2 billion something back in 2019. Back in 2019, Salesforce purchased Tableau, and wherever you go, Salesforce is implemented. Their default visualization tool will be Tableau. Wherever Microsoft Azure based company, Microsoft based companies you go, Microsoft will be there. Their Power BI will be their default tool. That's how they design. Both are topmost cloud application in the world. So future is all about cloud, right? Without cloud, you cannot survive. So if you are staying in the same market, like if you learn Power BI or Tableau, if you have that in your resume, you don't have to worry for another 10 15 years. So that is the kind of scope you will have if you learn the tool. So you can do your own analysis by going to Google. You can Google it out, because I don't think that nowhere that Power BI is going. I got to know this back in 2015, 16, because they were releasing for lesser cost. So I knew that something is going to change in the future. So I started learning parallelly Power BI back then in 2016, 17. So now it has become number one tool in the world as of now. Data visualization tool means it's Power BI because of its cost, but it has got lot of performance issues which companies are facing, but they're okay because they are paying lesser cost. Tableau is a very strong tool. It can handle any huge volume of data without throwing any error, any performance issues. Even big players like Google, all those people are still using Tableau. They don't want to get into any other tool. So big players, they still want to stay back with Tableau, but mid-scale companies, mid-level industries, all those people are implementing Power BI because of the cost. So they're able to manage with the performance. Performance is low, but still they're able to manage by finding out some alternative way. Okay, so till now good. I think Tejaswini, are you able to follow? Shakil,
Yes, yes.
Savitri, Narayan, Harsha, Srinivas.
Yeah, Deepak.
All
It's well good. Yeah.
okay, great. So I will provide a PPT for this, separate PPT for you guys. So in addition to that, whatever I collected so far, I collected a lot of PDFs, blogs, and I will be preparing you for the interview also. Interview preparation, starting from resume preparation, and then your practice files, sample resumes. So in my own company, I'm part of interview panel. So whatever question I get, all the updated questions. So I have collected my own interview questions. Okay, so you will have certification help, course content, data sets, and then icons, interview questions. I need to create one more folder called project. I think project folder is gone somewhere. Project I'm going to cover in detail from start to finish, how a project will start and how it is going to end, right? Model reports, Microsoft PBX files, training videos, all these things you will have. And interview questions also you will have in detail. So this is, I keep updating this interview questions. Okay, so 2022 it is there. I'm updating every time so that you guys will be preparing for the interview and give the interview. So maybe 4 or 5 interviews only people are able to crack, whoever I teach. 4 or 5 interviews they attend, fourth or fifth interview they're able to crack the interview. So I'm going to prepare you in that way because whatever I'm going to do, so this is actually the course duration. This is actually should be 4 weeks. 3 weeks I'm trying to cover. From fourth week people are updating their profile in their Naukri, so they're getting job. So maybe my duration, if you're talking, then it will be 25 hours, maybe here and there some hours may be difference. So because people will need some extra attention, so for those people I'm giving some more hours for them. So total standard hours will be for me 25 hours. That includes training on live project from start to finish. So how a project will come to the company, how they are going to implement that project, how they are going to do everything, requirement document, design document, you will have a lot of things, right? So those things I'm going to cover in detail. And you can speak about this project in the interview. So many people, I don't suggest them to copy paste whatever project others are giving. Don't copy paste that that project. You, whatever project you're going to copy paste, you should be confident to speak about that, right? So I would suggest people to do that, the students, then only they are able to speak in a much confident way, right? So they, even the interviewers, they are only looking for confidence in you, if they can polish you or not. If they can polish you, they will notice that and they will hire you immediately. So that's how it is working now. So these, all this preparation wise, everything I'm going to provide you in detail. And we will be, see, this is a sample dashboard for the previous batch. Currently it's going on, another 3 days left. So you can see I've started with one retail project for them, YTD analysis. Like this we have built a lot of, some additional 3 4 dashboards we have built. So this is like an intermediate dashboard where people can, they can select by year. See this, according to that this cards will change. And then you also see the card visual. So region basis, then you will have year basis, total revenue, previous year over year percentage. So whatever scenario I have got in my project, I'm going to cover that so that you guys will be prepared well enough for that. So this is one. And each topic I'm going to cover like this in detail, like what are the things, dynamic selection, yearly, monthly, then field parameters, like this. So these are all the topics one by one every day I'm going to cover. And if people, this is forecasting, how we are forecasting using Power BI. So only people are confident about one topic, then only I'm moving to the next topic. Okay, so you have to practice parallelly on the same day. If your practice is more, then you can, your learning will be more and you can crack the interview in a very easy way. Okay, so everything, so these are all the calculated measures, everything. So this material wise, everything I'm going to share it in Google Drive for you guys, so that you can get more learning. So I think
So
that
Deepak,
is yeah.
hello. Deepak,
Yeah.
so how many projects you are going to cover?
Only one project. See, one project, if I
Hmm.
start in a proper way, it will take 6 months, any project.
Okay.
So we cannot
Hmm.
do it in 6 months. So that is why I am going to take only the important things that we did in that project. Important things means what? How company will get project. That is one question. Second thing is how a business analyst will analyze the requirement. How you are going to get the requirement as a developer, right? And as a developer, what will you be doing? And then how you're going to build model, how you're going to analyze and build dashboards, and how you're going to share it with the user. That is the whole process, right? So those things
Okay.
I'm going to cover from the start till the end. We are going to build some 3 4 dashboards in the which is there in that project, and you can speak about the same project or dashboards in your this. After that, once we build it, we are going to Power BI service, that is cloud. So how cloud, as a developer, what you are doing in cloud. So as a developer, whatever Power BI developer does from development side and from service side, all those things I'm going to cover.
Okay. And Deepak, I
Deepak,
need.
Yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead,
go
Narayan.
ahead.
so this 3 weeks is that Saturday, Sundays only, right? These 3 weeks.
That you need to talk to Subhash. You can discuss about course duration in detail. You talk to Subhash about course duration and course fee. Both these things you need to discuss with Subhash.
Okay.
Yeah, Deepak. So I had one doubt. Let's say I come from a testing background and I wanted to move to Power BI. So
Uh-huh.
I have 3 to 4 years experience. So how can I manage that after learning your course?
One example I'll give you. Previous batch, there was one student who has 4 years experience. He has done Bachelor in Arts (BA), so he's working as a Power BI developer now in a banking domain company. I can introduce him to you. See, it's not
Okay.
about that. It's not about domain. It's about interest, and the more interest that you show in the tool, right? If you understand it in the right way, then whatever
Mhm.
interview you're expecting, you will get to know easily. So it doesn't matter about your domain, your previous background, nothing. If you have 3 4 years experience minimum, 3 years experience is minimum. If you have that, you can replace this anytime, no issues.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Shakil, Srinivas, Savitri,
I'm good, Deepak.
and Harsha?
Sir, as a fresher, companies are hiring in Power BI.
What was I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Uh, my question is, as a fresher, companies are hiring for
Yeah, as a
Power
fresh.
BI.
Yes, yes. As a fresher, also you can because a few people engineering they are doing engineering for the last semester. They are learning Power BI. I have taken batches in the past. So what you can do
Okay.
is if you add it in your resume, Power BI course.
Hmm. Hmm.
If in case people will, I mean companies will hire, but however you need to show some more additional skills. Like you need to tell that you have some additional skills on SQL, and if you try for certification, it will your chances of job will be very much higher. Along with certification, a fresher they will hire the higher chance will be more.
Okay.
Here, like we are in a room here. Okay. Just one question, like in this course, will you be providing any certificate kind of a thing, certification, something?
Certificate. No, there are few people they're asking like that certificate. Yeah, I can talk to. I have in my own company. I have one vendor where I will get certificates. We'll tell him to name on Power BI course certificate. Yeah, we can provide that. No problem.
The
So
course
basic,
duration is
yeah, go ahead, Harsha.
course duration is 1 month or 1.5 months.
Yeah, I have taken it as 3 weeks, but it will never finish in 3 weeks. It is going to fourth week, but at any cost, fourth week it will be finished. But
Okay.
people are whatever I'm going to cover in the 3 weeks, right? Almost I will finish some 75-80% of the course, and then fourth week they will learn project, and immediately in the mid of that week they will upload their profile in Naukri after. So it doesn't mean that you have to post it right away. You prepare yourself. 1 month you need to properly dedicate for Power BI, then only you can learn. 1 month completely, 1 month per hour, per day. If you spend some 1 hour, 1.5 hour on Power BI, that's more than enough for you.
Yeah. Parallelly, I follow the SQL videos also. That's why.
Yeah, SQL, more SQL will learn, not only for Power BI. You will have more XP. I mean, you will have strong foundation in IT if you learn SQL. So this is ASI. This is the Power BI learning roadmap. First and foremost thing is Power Query. You should know what Power Query is about. What are the advanced way of cleaning the data? It's not like basic data transformation. Lot of trainers are teaching basic only. No basic. It should be advanced, right? And then there is something called data warehousing concepts or data modeling. You need to focus on star schema and snowflake schemas, building models. These things also I'm going to cover, so don't have to worry. But the most of 90% of the time we are using star schema in our model. So that is like a standard protocol that we follow, like a kind of a design procedure. And then we have DAX expression. This is the heart of Power BI. Without DAX, no Power BI. Without calculations, no Power BI. So you will have something called data analysis expressions, where I'm going to cover most of the things that we are doing frequently. Most frequently we are using, right? Calculate, filter, values, formula. These are only examples. I'm going to cover a lot of additional DAX. Every single day, I'm going to cover 2 or 3 DAX formulas. Okay. And then visualization. You need to explore more how I can build visual dashboards, how I can build visualizations. So that depends upon your interest. So I am going to teach you all the visualizations, but you need to explore more beyond that, right? Exploring formatting options. You need to know how to format dashboard in the proper way and create multiple dashboards per day. If you create a simple dashboard, start with simple dashboard. If you prepare one day dashboard per day, 15 days 15 dashboard, another 15 days two dashboards. If you prepare 30 plus 15 45. If you go for an interview with 45 dashboards in your in your kitty, then you will have more confidence to speak in the interview. More dashboards you prepare, more confidence you'll get. Okay. And then you're going to publish and explore managing how Power BI service is managed in the backend. That is very important. Not only knowing how it is works in the desktop side, you should also know how it reaches the end user, how he's going to consume that dashboard, right? In addition to all this learning map, you keep this map. Only this map, if you learn, not only here, anywhere if you go, you can survive in Power BI. Okay. And then apart from that, learning SQL, these things is must know. Other things also you can learn, but these are all the things that you should know. I mean, these are the basic to intermediate topics. That's all. Like case statements, window functions, string and date function, query execution plan, DDL, DML. You should know all these things. If you know, if you know it's good enough, you just try to brush up those skills. If you don't know, then start learning. These things they will expect at any cost. If you don't know SQL, they will ask you 10 questions in Power BI. They will ask you 5 questions in SQL. Or out of 10, they will ask 7 questions Power BI, 3 questions SQL. If you don't answer 2 out of 3 in SQL, they will not hire you, because they want someone who knows SQL also. Okay, so please bear that in mind every time. Okay, so that is overall picture that I was trying to give you. I think I have got course content also over here. So course content I have designed in this way. This is Power BI service. Forget about this. So data transformation, desktop side, what are the things that we are doing? Modeling, what are the things, advanced things that we are doing? And then these are all the DAX formulas. These are all the, without this, no interview. Each and everything will be DAX will be asked in the interview. Okay, so then visualization side, I'm going to cover in detail about all these things. And then bonus, we are going to build RLS, row level security, and we are going to build on comprehensive dashboard project wise. Then service visualization tools, then publishing and sharing, refreshing, how we are going to refresh, what are the scheduled refresh, how we're going to, how company will schedule refreshes in their server, and what are the Power BI Excel together. So these things, all these things will be covered in detail. Modeling, what are the three things? First thing is data transformation, next thing is data modeling, third thing is data visualization. Within that procedure, you will have all these things to study in detail one day. So you need to go step by step, step one, step two, like that you should go. You cannot learn everything in one day. So just go slowly and thoroughly, and practice is very much needed. Otherwise, no use of taking course. I hope I was clear. uh, Tejaswini, Shakil, Srinivas, Savitri,
Deepak,
Narayan.
one query. This might be a repetitive question.
Mm.
So you mentioned a few concepts like DDM, DDL, DML. So
Yes,
can you give any I mean the material at least for interview to prepare, just for
yes, yes.
the our.
Of course, yes.
Okay,
See, if you go, I will also give you one YouTube tutorial. If you go there, all these things are covered. If you learn that, if you implement that, create one dummy server in your PC, do everything blindly, you follow these steps, prepare yourself, and that is more than enough.
yeah.
But that
Deepak,
is one that is one suggestion. But other people, I don't want to tell that only this is enough for SQL. No, this is only like foundation to intermediate. But if you learn SQL from the scratch till advanced, you will have long term career.
got it. Yeah. And the server, I mean, the local server, adding the local server, that I don't, that and all, even I'm not sure about it. So you will guide us, right? I mean, those adding
Yes,
the
yes,
SQL local
yes,
server.
yes. No
Because
problem. Yeah.
I'm familiar with certain concept, but SQL server, local server, so that's all.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Subhash, in your room, any questions from students there?
He is not around actually.
No questions.
Okay.
Deepak, one last question. So,
Yeah, go ahead.
for example, if we just take up this course and like for example, if we just say that 3 years experience in this, so is there any package that you can share it like this was